Hey there, sorry for the lack of visual stimuli in this video. It was an intentional choice on my part because I mainly want people to focus on the things that I am saying instead of some silly video game on the screen. And especially considering the subject matter, it doesn't seem appropriate at all to have it on there. So, it's been well over 24 hours since Charlie Kirk was fatally shot at a university in Utah. And for those who don't know or are somehow out of the loop, I'll make it quick. Charlie Kirk is a very controversial conservative activist who is well known for his participation in debates, especially his debates with college-aged students. This is actually what he was in the midst of doing on September 10th, yesterday, when he was shot in the neck and killed in front of a large crowd of people, including his wife and kids. The incident was caught on footage, and I have to warn you that it is not something that you want to watch if you are of the faint of heart. It is incredibly bloody and gruesome, and no amount of stating that this is the real world will make me recommend someone to view it. The reaction to this situation has been, as one could expect for a figure like him, polarizing. Some are mourning his death and condemning the violence, and others are singing from the rooftops and clicking their feet that he's long gone, talking about how great it was, making memes, even sharing the video of his death all over the place, which is just god-awful. I remember someone, one of my friend's brothers, posted it on their Instagram story, and my view of them changed almost in an instant. I personally do not like Charlie Kirk, and I disagree with everything that he stands for. His beliefs and his rhetoric that he spewed on the daily were incredibly dangerous and harmful, and all that it did was embolden and enable people to think and do very terrible things, especially young, impressionable people that don't know any better. And despite it all, I do not think that dude deserved to die. Violence isn't the answer. I know that may seem like a hot take, but I don't think that we should be calling death upon someone with shitty views, especially if it requires having someone go into a school and shoot someone. Mass shootings and school shootings in general are a plague on our nation, and this is technically classified as such. And who's to say that there couldn't have potentially been if some things turned out differently? If there was a different shooter with a different mindset present, you just never know. The people at his assassination surely didn't know that they were going to survive. When you're in a public setting and you hear shots going off, you're probably not thinking that, oh, maybe only one or two people may die. I'll just have to chill out and find out. You're likely thinking that you could potentially be next. So now you're running out of fear, hoping to God that you can get out of this place alive. I saw the footage. Everyone was running. And also, even if they were hypothetically all fine with just staying put after hearing a bullet tear through the air, they still had to bear witness to a man getting shot in the neck, profusely pouring gallons of blood all over himself and the ground. I've personally have never seen anyone die in front of me. Unfortunately, I had a morbid curiosity as a child, so it's nothing new seeing it in video form, but I can imagine it must be a very traumatic event, one that you may not be able to easily shake away, even over the course of years. Those attendees may be alive, but they are probably going to potentially come away with some PTSD. Also, it was noted that Charlie Kirk's wife and very young children were in attendance and, of course, also had to see their husband, their father, die in an incredibly gruesome manner. I feel so incredibly bad for his children, and while his wife may have agreed or at the very least tolerated his terrible opinions and views, she also didn't deserve to see that. Despite all of these other factors that are in play, some people are still going to be happy this happened, which boggles my mind because some of the same people that are praising the assassination would likely also be rallying for gun reform in an effort to mitigate school shootings, which, like I said, this technically is one of them. And before I forget, it's important to state that another school shooting happened in Colorado that same exact day, at the same exact time, or maybe a little bit after or before. I actually learned about that sometime after Charlie Kirk's assassination, and it is very, very sad that one shooting has to take precedence over another when they should be both spoken about and both condemned. But people don't want to do that. They would rather think in black and white and say that his assassination was wonderful because he's a terrible person, while the one in Colorado was bad. I personally don't think that you can have one and not the other. Either you condemn both or you condemn none. Which the answer should be the former. Both are bad. Gun violence in general is just bad. Thinking about these situations in nuance, I personally feel is something that is incredibly important to take into account, especially for an instance like this in particular. You can condemn the victim, but most importantly, also condemn the action taken against them. It's that simple. Another reason I am very much against this shooting is because of the potential precedent that it could set for America going forward. We are living in some very, very strange and scary times. Charlie Kirk is a large figure in the conservative world, so his death is undeniable political violence, which is bad. Political violence has actually kind of been on the up as of lately. I know, especially just in this year alone, there's been quite a bit. And lest we forget, last year there was the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Whether you believe it's true or not, it's still really, really bad and not a good precedent to set. And Charlie Kirk's death is just the most recent one. And while he can no longer spread his rhetoric, this can be a very slippery slope that can be the figurative death of us all, especially nowadays with parties like MAGA in power. Kirk also literally died speaking about what he thinks is the truth, meaning that he is a martyr, something already being mentioned by not only Turning Point USA, an organization founded by Kirk, but also believers of the MAGA movement. This will further embolden people on the right to stick true and maybe even further radicalize themselves in their beliefs. And contrary to popular belief, some people in MAGA are not as brainwashed as you think and are capable of gaining at least a shred of empathy, even if it does take a little bit of time for them. See the handling of the Epstein files. So if this was an attempt by the assassin to stop Kirk and his influence, it's not really going well. And of course, as we all know, hate begets hate and violence begets violence. So the gun may potentially turn to people that you look up to in the political sphere, or maybe even just you. It's a vicious cycle and one that does not need to continue, but with this type of mindset from both sides, it's never going to end. Remember, take into account that there can be nuance, okay? I say that, but, if someone's killing you, then of course, then you don't gotta turn the other cheek, okay? I know empathy is going out of style in this day and age. Charlie Kirk even stated he hates the word empathy and what it represents, but looking out for your fellow man is something that is very important to keep a community, and in this instance, a country, together. I know there are going to be people criticizing me, calling me a hippie that wants all of us to hold hands and sing Kumbaya, or telling me that caring about one guy being assassinated in my country is hypocritical because I'm not caring about the numerous deaths and atrocities happening in places like Gaza and Ukraine. For the first one, is it really that wrong to wish that we could all just be peaceful and understanding? I know it's an unattainable dream to just suddenly make this world a better place with no worries to speak of, but that shouldn't stop us from making a goal to get as close to that as possible. And for that second one, I do care about everything happening outside the country and hope to God that violence can end too. Murder is murder, no matter the geographical location. It shouldn't be a hard thing to grasp, but for some people, it is. I don't intend to try and change anyone's minds with this video. That was actually not even the goal. I just wanted to get my voice out there because I'm just like each and every one of you in this country. A citizen seeing the horrors of the political game get more and more prevalent with each day, and I just want it all to stop. I don't have any answers about how to fix gun violence or anything, how to find and put the proper people in power, how to make sure everyone in America is protected and has the rights they deserve, any of that. But I do know that I want to say something about those things, and God damn it, at the very least, that's a start. don't expect me to talk about politics on this channel very often, if at all from this point forward. It's just what I've been seeing recently is shocking to me. Not even just the assassination video, and I really needed to say something or else I would have just exploded. This is a relief to get off my chest, to say the least. Once again, I am not trying to change minds. It makes more sense for people to become aware than go out and do a bit of research to come to a conclusion of their own. Talking heads can be useful, especially if it's someone that you mostly agree with, but don't forget your autonomy. You are capable of thinking for yourself. Anyways, that's about all I have to say on this matter. I'm just sick and tired of talking about it already. I'm going to end it with this. Love everyone. Everyone deserves rights. Trans people exist. Support Palestine. Support Ukraine. Support undocumented immigrants. Release the goddamn Epstein files already. Hold your leaders accountable. Don't let them say and do stupid crap and get away with it. That's it. I'm done. I hope you have a great day.